Hey everybody, Drew here for Games here on YouTube.com. With that being said, who dat? Drew dat. Joining me is my younger brother, Desert Nord. Now, instead of on speakerphone, he's here via party chat on the on Xbox Live for the first time on the show or podcast or whatever you want to call this thing. Hey, bro.
Hey there.
Hence why I got the microphone by my face here with the headset, so he can hear me. And I'm hoping you guys can hear him. Turn it up one more volume point to 21 here for you. So with that being said, on this being the 14th episode of the DDG Games Podcast here on the channel of its name, my younger brother and I are here to talk about apparently a COD voice actor claims that Dr. Disrespect was banned for a very specific reason and apparently has revealed that. We'll get into that. Also, the PlayStation 5 is confirmed by other members of the YouTube creators community to have the same CMOS or CBomb, if you will, as it's being called, battery issue that the PS3 and 4 apparently have. And we'll get into that mess. A dev slams gamers for how we purchase games. We'll get into that. And Sony does a 180 and has announced that they aren't actually going to be closing down the digital stores for PS4 and PS Vita, but will be for the PSP, and we'll get into our thoughts on that as well. So with that being said, Desert Nord, you are a longtime COD player.
Yeah, I am.
So, and which should be irrelevant to the topic of Dr. Disrespect getting thrown unceremoniously about a year ago off of Twitch in the manner that he did.
Yeah, it should be irrelevant,
but apparently it is, because apparently a COD voice actor, as reports claims that Dr. Disrespect was banned from Twitter for lying about a Mixer deal or negotiating with Microsoft to be on Mixer. By the way, Mixer's fucking dead.
Yeah, it's dead and gone.
Yeah, but at the time, it was about to get shut down, if you recall.
Sure, yeah, I do recall that.
So, if this is accurate, in my eyes, this paints Twitch in a very horrible fuck of a light.
Yeah, that's not good for their reputation, is it?
Yeah, throwing arguably your most famous streamer, in my opinion, your most famous streamer off of your platform, Dr. Disrespect, for basically no other reason other than you think he's doing a deal with your competitor, which died a couple months later.
Yeah, so he had to beg and plead them to let him back on. Promising, pinky swearing that he didn't make a deal with Mixer.
Well, according to the claim is that Twitch dropped him because they thought he was lying about a deal with Mixer.
Yeah.
To them.
So what are they going to do? Like, subpoena him or something?
So basically, what this is suggesting is that they just threw his ass off on the assumption that they felt lied to by him.
Yeah, which is really, really low.
Which is not any evidence whatsoever. It's just you think. That's like if I were to block you on Xbox Live because I think that you're lying to me right now about something. Same thing.
Yeah.
Which ain't gonna happen because we're brothers, but still.
Sure.
Because even if I think you're lying to me about something, I'm gonna go big deal. I don't care. Because we're brothers.
It's just that you have to question how they thought this would help them. How would this help them?
The only thing that it's been helping is largely YouTube, because now he's largely the largest streamer on YouTube now is Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, I'm sure he's among good competition there.
Yeah. Although YouTube has its own issues with its fucking bots, but that's neither here nor there when it comes to this.
Indeed.
Yeah. So anything else we have to say about this information before we get to the CBomb in the PS5?
No, I have nothing else to say about that.
Yeah. So the PS5 is confirmed by various sources on YouTube channels. If you guys want to go look for that, just type in PS5 or PlayStation CBomb, and you'll get a listing of everyone that's talking about it. Because I don't remember the name of the guy that's been covering it the most that I've been watching, unfortunately, even though I am subbed to the channel, but a recent sub to it, so. But evidently, the PS5 is confirmed to have the same CBomb or CMOS battery flaw that the PS4 does. If the flaw in the PS3 comes to fruition, which may be less likely to happen anytime soon right now, because support for the PS3 and the Vita are still going to be happening, even though the Vita is not relevant here, according to tests apparently. But if the flaw takes place, online systems shut down. Even your physical games on PS3 will not work. And same thing may happen when the time comes. For example, look at the PS1 and PS2 right now. Those are retro consoles. There's no disputing that, right?
Yeah.
So let's fast forward into the future to when the PS3, PS4, and PS5 were all retro consoles. And you can't access online trophies, you can't access the online stores, you can't access any of that. If the clock battery in the system is flawed, well, first of all, there's a clock battery in it. If it loses track of time, it has to ask the PlayStation Network what time, what year, what day it is. And then it gets that information, and then it keeps working. If it can't do that, it's not going to work. Therefore, you obviously can't play your digital games because no online services. But the bigger issue is that if it can't keep track of the time, unfortunately, with this flaw, you won't be able to play your physical games either. So therefore, anyone who goes, well, that's why I buy only physical, well, that's not going to help you in this case.
Yeah, it literally bricks your system.
Yeah. It's basically forced DRM, which back in 2013 we advocated against with Xbox.
Yep.
And then Sony just snuck it in anyway throughout all of this without anyone actually knowing until basically now in 2021.
Yep.
So.
It's classic Sony behavior.
Yeah. Also in classic Sony behavior, a dev from Ben Studio, which I can't remember the name of, the guy, which is fine because I wouldn't want to say it anywhere because I don't want to make him a target for harassment either, but it is what it is.
Yep.
But evidently this dev recently criticized gamers in an interview for not paying full price for games like Days Gone, hence why it's not getting a sequel. Oh, I don't know, maybe because of the report like last week or something like that, I think that we did that, yeah, it was last week that Ben Studio pitched it to Sony and Sony went, nah.
Yeah, well, what are we supposed to do if they don't?
Maybe that's the reason. And secondly, if people can only afford like 4 games a year, and one of those games isn't yours, exactly.
Yeah, maybe the problem is them.
Well, first of all, not everyone can try to. Well, first of all, Not everyone has a YouTube channel in which they try to cover gaming, first of all. And secondly, even if you do, if you're like me and you try to do this, the only money you get is from your actual job. You don't make money at this, so therefore, I pay out of pocket to cover everything that I do. Literally. I make nothing on it, on doing any of this shit. So, that's why Game Pass comes in so fucking handy. First of all, because it frees up being able to actually buy certain games that aren't on Game Pass, type of thing.
Sure.
By the way, thank you Microsoft for Game Pass, by the way. But yeah, more bullshittery from someone who works for Sony, basically. It's basically Kathleen Kennedy Lucasfilm School of Shit on the Fans, basically, is what this is.
Sure, and you really gotta wonder what they're thinking. Why would they do that? I don't know what they think they're gonna gain. They're gonna guilt shame everybody into doing something that they want them to do. No, of course not. They're not gonna do anything we don't want to do as far as purchases.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I feel bad, that's why I'm gonna buy their game or whatever.
It's been staring at me right in the face for like the last 10 minutes, and I only just looked at the screen right in front of me. Desert Nord has a new video out, apparently.
Indeed I do.
Yeah, Indianapolis shooting / FBI meme. Oh boy.
Yep.
Well, it's got 9 views after one day.
Yeah, it's not as hot as the other one.
Yeah, well, then again, you have the word shooting right in the name, so that's probably why. YouTube is probably not happy about it.
Yeah, but my video doesn't contain anything.
Yeah, I know, but they probably aren't gonna give a shit.
Are we not allowed to discuss it now?
Well, apparently, Geeks and Gamers, and I'm sorry for getting off topic from the show, but this needs to be said. Apparently, Geeks and Gamers has really gotten a copyright strike, and as Jeremy put it in his video, and he was being sarcastic, but it was said, copyright struck for being a positive video, which isn't
I saw that.
accurate. It's a false copyright strike from some dipshit out there, but it is what it is. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me that someone somewhere would complain about the title, is all I'm saying.
Oh, good, let him. I don't even care.
I got no problem with it. I don't give a shit.
I am the last person to give a damn what other people, have to say about my memes. Memes are meant to be edgy. That's the whole point.
I personally don't give a shit if you make a meme of me. God help you if you do.
Well, you see, most
for
of the
having
time
to stare at my face, but I don't care.
I was gonna say most of the time memes are for ridiculing purposes, so I wouldn't do that.
Well,
most of the time. Sometimes you can poke fun, whatever, amongst your friends and stuff.
But
usually it's like taking the piss out of something.
I'm actually trying to talk to the rest of YouTube here right now, though not necessarily you. I don't care if you out there meme me in a video and basically title it "Drew That Game Sucks, Dicks." I don't care. Go for it. It ain't true, but go for it. I approach being made fun of like Jeremy at Geeks and Gamers. I have no problem with it. Go for it. I could care less.
Hey, bro, you there? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yo. Oh. Shit. Can you hear me now? Bro? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I think the controller turned off. That might have been the problem.
Oh, silly thing. You gotta be playing a game, that's why.
Well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna have to try to keep track of it. Or we're watching something on YouTube or something like that, but I don't want to do that. So, yeah. So after that, we got Sony is doing a 180, kind of like Microsoft, only to a lesser degree, from 2013 when it comes to the DRM. Except for Sony will no longer be closing down the PS3 and PS Vita storefronts on the systems for the foreseeable future. However, the PSP digital storefront will still be shutting down as planned. Which is no surprise because the PSP is how old now?
Quite a few years.
Yeah. And the PS Vita, people are still playing it. I've never gotten
Didn't that
one.
come out in like 2010 or something?
The PSP?
I'm trying to remember.
I remember getting the one that I had at the time, which was blue, and it came with Madden 09. And I'm pretty sure it had been out for like a couple years before that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it'd be like right about the time of the... I guess they were trying to outdo Xbox 360.
Yeah, I believe it came out shortly after the PlayStation 3 did, by like a year or two.
Yeah.
So probably 08 maybe, 07, somewhere in that frame.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because we all know that, 360 came out in 05, so...
Yeah, well, about a year before the PS3, which... You can meme the PS3 announcement till you're blue in the face about $700. But it is what it is. But yeah,
well, it turned people's faces blue. Yeah.
But with Sony doing this 180, you know that they already got digital sales for people going, oh shit, I'm about to lose out on these games that I haven't gotten yet for these systems. Gotta buy them now so I don't lose access to getting them by the summer or whatever. And now that's not the case. And you know Sony ain't gonna refund those games. So all this was a win-win for Sony, supposedly.
Yeah, so Sony wins and you're boned as the customer.
Yeah, so Sony wins financially, but I offer another take on this. Sony wins financially, but loses in goodwill.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, honestly, what do they have left in that department?
The history
I thought they already ruined all their goodwill this summer.
Well,
that's just
they still have the history of the long-lasting exclusives outside of The Last of Us that they they have on their platform.
Good content isn't goodwill. Goodwill is behavior.
That's true.
Goodwill is when you know they're doing the right thing by you. Whereas I've not seen that in a long time from them.
As I look back on it, this is really the way I should have seen things throughout the PS4 and the Xbox One generation. Microsoft making moves behind the scenes to try to be better. Sony just releasing top-notch content to play. And that was pretty much the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout, well, as I still see it, because you still can't get them on store shelves. That being the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5. So the current gen still being Xbox One and PS4. As I still see it. And as long as games are still coming out for those systems, they're still going to be current gen until you can walk in a store, buy a PS5, go for it if that's what you're into. Or what I would want to do and do want to do, well, not necessarily walk into a store and get a Series X, but order one to be delivered is my preferred method because I don't want to go walking down the street with a fucking $500 box. But it is what it is. So, with that being said, that's all the news we got. So, I think we'll just spend like the next 20 minutes, because we're at about the 20-minute mark now, just talking about random stuff in gaming at this point. That being, what's your impression of playing Elder Scrolls Online at this point?
Oh, it's pretty great.
I
It's kind of a nostalgia, I guess.
I personally have played stuff that I find to be better, but I've also played stuff that's a lot worse too.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Like case
What I
in
will
point,
say is I'm surprised at how much I'm enjoying Astroneer.
I think I barely touched it when it was in PlayStation Plus
Yeah,
as
yeah.
games
I saw
at
that
the time.
I saw the last time you touched it was July 4th, 2019.
Okay, so
Yeah, the reason I know that is because it tells me that.
so that was on Xbox then.
Yeah,
Okay.
apparently.
I thought it was on PlayStation because sometimes both systems or both companies will give out a game for free like 2 or 3 months apart from each other or the same month on rare occasion.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. But the only fun that I really have in a game like Elder Scrolls Online or Sea of Thieves is playing it with someone. So really, my most enjoyment out of ESO is just playing with you at this point. Because that's probably the only
Yep.
time that I'm ever going to boot it up is when you're saying, like, in a message on Xbox Live, hey, I'm in the game. You want to play? Yeah, sure, I'll be there in a few minutes, or
Well, let's just put
if
it
I'm
this way:
awake type of thing.
for someone like me that basically bases his entire online persona around Skyrim and the whole deal with Elder Scrolls,
Yeah.
it's kind of the only thing I can justify really playing my heart out with.
Well, as you saw earlier, when you were messaging me on Xbox Live, I was actually playing Skyrim on. Sorry, I was actually playing Skyrim on my PC at the time.
Sure, yeah, I saw that.
But that's also when I noticed. Well, actually, I didn't really notice. I was reminded of something that I had forgotten. That my PC's account and my Xbox Live account are linked.
Yep.
So that meaning that when I'm playing a game on Steam, I just have to hit the Xbox logo on the Xbox Series X controller that I used to play on PC and see who's online on Xbox Live at that point, which is handy. And and also with that, with the app on my phone will go off with that I got a message on Xbox Live, and that's when I just hit the Xbox logo on my PC controller, if you will, if I could call it that at this point, just to
Yep.
see like who was probably just messaging me, and then I can actually see the message from there on the PC. So
Uh huh.
the only thing is that I don't know how to respond while I'm on PC, so that's why I was texting you.
Sure. Yeah, I get it. I probably should have just texted you to begin with,
Yeah,
but
but
I was using my Xbox, so I figured I might as well.
but still, the fact that you
It's a
do
lot
it
clunky.
that way,
I can text on my phone like 20 times faster than sending a message on Xbox, but
yeah, yeah, I
I just
know.
figured,
But the fact that you did it that way was actually helpful because I actually saw it anyway. Because if my
uh huh.
phone had gone off, I probably would have just gone, it's either someone went live on Twitch that I follow, or it's another notification from Facebook, or someone commented on YouTube or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably wouldn't have even looked at my phone right away. So it's probably
Yeah.
better that you do it that way than that way. If I'm playing on PC, I'll just respond with a text message then at,
Uh huh.
at that point. But I'll still see it either way. But I've also been playing MLB The Show 21 because that's out on Game Pass. That came out yesterday. And I'm enjoying it just as much as the last one, with the exception of I don't know how I feel about the road to the show at this point. Because it feels different. I don't know in a good or a bad way, but it just feels off in a way. Does that make sense?
Yep. I would say that that's congruent with some of the other commentary I've heard about it. A lot of people are like, yeah, it feels like different in maybe a neutral, maybe even a negative way, but
Now I don't know if
the gameplay in the baseball games is actually wonderful.
yeah, the gameplay is the same as it's always been. It's just certain aspects of the game, like specifically one mode in particular I'm talking about here, that I'm like, I don't know if this is better or worse. I feel like it's a step down in a way from 20, but at the same time, there's more of an emphasis on narrative to it, which I do like.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on with how I feel about it. And I don't know if it's because of how I feel about Major League Baseball right now as a brand, if you know what I mean. Or if it's just my jadedness in like the games that have come out in the last year and how many of them sucked. Type of thing. Because there's been so much shit, if you will, that I'm kind of conditioned to expect something to suck, you know?
Sure, yeah. We've been
at least
through a
lately.
lot of overhyped bad games.
Yeah, so, oh, good. Drew and Desert Nord Play ESO #1 is up to 8 views at this point. That's actually one of the highest viewed things lately. The second highest was me playing Vikings Wolves of Midgard, which is a Games with Gold game for April, which is available till the 31st. And next highest, Drew Plays Control Episode 2. The short stream is up to 10 views. What's the highest thing on the channel right now? On the gaming channel, that is. Yeah, it looks like Replay Friday #14 or 13, which was Control. Yeah, that's at 12. Actually, that's episode 14.
Yeah.
I take that back. Drew Plays Miles Morales episode 4 is at 14 views. So everyone's still hot for Miles. For some reason.
That's a popular game.
Otherwise, on this channel, folks, the last thing got 3 views. Breaking Rock's still sitting at 2. Both of them are me. And the video centered around geeks and gamers and that stuff is almost at 480. It's at 474 views. So that's still the highest viewed thing on the channel. On this channel where you guys are watching this. So.
Yep.
In regards to what you're looking forward to playing in the future.
Well, I'm kind of just gonna go with the flow. I'm probably gonna have 4 or 5 games total that I focus on, and I already got 2 of them.
I do know that a game that I pre-ordered about a month ago, it has just shipped, so it should be on its way like very soon, and that's the complete edition of Nier Automata, I think is what it's called, for Xbox One / Series X.
Yep.
So that should be on its way soon, and yes, I do have that digitally on PS4, but I wanted a physical copy for Xbox, though. And the fact that a complete edition was being released for Xbox One for $60, yeah, I was interested in doing that for the complete edition of it.
Yeah.
And then
I saw that there's some.
Yeah.
I was gonna say there's some really good deals. Some of the games are like 85% off. I was like, 85% off? That's crazy.
Yeah, I usually just buy my physical for my work, so.
I mean, it almost
so I save even more money on it, and I get a physical copy out of it too. So, and that's another thing that I've been wanting to say.
I saw that all the Lego games are all heavily discounted right now.
I basically have all of them anyway, so.
Sure, yeah, I know.
Be it physical or digital. But that's something that I want to say about digital games, though. If you want to bring on the digital game revolution, fine, but don't release them at the same fucking price as the full 60 as the physical version.
Sure.
Because you're not doing box art anymore. You're not having to print a physical disc, and you're still charging the same goddamn price at that point. Yeah, exactly. Reduce the price, bring on the digital game revolution for Xbox at that point. But,
and by the way, not to mention, there is a novelty in having a physical copy.
Exactly.
Which you would think would dictate a higher price.
Yeah, which should dictate the $60 price, as far as I'm concerned.
Apparently, there's some disconnect between the popularity of older, the older style hard copy games and the digital. Apparently, the digital is more popular, but obviously, we all know the benefits of having an actual physical copy.
Yeah, because apparently you and I are the bridge in between the generations of the older gamers who only want physical copies of games, then the younger gamers who prefer digital versions because they're young and stupid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a matter of foresight, really.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, what happens when you're, worst case scenario, your thing blanks out or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it gets bricked like we just were discussing.
Yeah, like with the PS3, in that point, it won't matter if you have digital or physical at that point.
Well, sure, but then you could still buy a different console and be okay. But what are you going to do if you have all your games in digital and your console?
Well, we don't know if that would actually fix like the thing or not. And that's another thing. When it comes to changing like the thingamajig in the system, the CMOS battery, in the PS4 you have to take it all apart, unscrew the motherboard, flip it over, and then take it off of there, and then you need like thermal paste to put it all back together on top of it. So basically you have to have an engineering degree, basically, to fix it.
Yeah, or at least be like a guy who knows.
Meanwhile, a system that I believe came out around the time the PS3 did, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2004, the Nintendo Wii. Guess where the CMOS battery was in that?
Probably in a better position.
Oh, you are not wrong whatsoever. It was literally in a drawer on the back of the system, as if you're plugging in a USB cord. I will say that again. You basically take out a slit from the back of the system, pull out the battery, put it back in the container, slip it back in the system. Done. Keep playing.
Yeah.
And that was Nintendo, like in 2006 or whatever year the Wii came out.
Sure, yeah, which tells you how far behind they are.
Do you mean how far in reasonable tech development Sony is? You mean, right?
Sure, that's another way of putting it.
And I know what some people are probably going to say. You're really claiming that Nintendo from 2004 or 5 or 6 was better with tech than Sony is in 2021? Yes, I am. Hell, I'll even say it. They were probably better than developing the tech than even Microsoft probably is right now. From that aspect of what we're talking about, when it comes to fixing issues with the system. Nintendo was better at the time. Have they stayed just as good? I don't know, because I haven't had issues with my Switch. So, I don't know. I can only imagine that maybe they probably are still about as good as they ever were. I don't know.
Well,
but it is what it is.
haven't noticed a huge change with them.
Yeah, well, the only change that they probably went through is kind of like Sony and not really caring about preserving games. Case in point with Super Mario 3D All-Stars Collection. It's not available on the digital store anymore. It's not available in physical stores, as they said that they would do.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Game preservation doesn't matter to them. Not near as much as Sony, given their apparent hatred for old games and reverse compatibility. Apparently, from what I see, the only reason they do it for the PS5 is because there was outrage.
Yep.
And Microsoft, it seems like they have people at their company that actually care about keeping things like Halo 3 running, even, albeit in just the Master Chief Collection, but it is what it is.
Yeah, well, at least there is that.
And the fact is that it is reverse compatible from the 360 version, by the way, on top of it.
Yep.
As is the entire Halo franchise. As is the entire Gears franchise. But in regards to other games that I'm interested in playing other than Nier Automata, I also have pre-ordered what's it called? Resident Evil: The Village, which comes out in early May, which I will be playing on Twitch around the time that it comes out. Now, obviously, after it has come out, because I don't want to have a Miles Morales situation again.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so, and when it comes to Nier Automata, I'm just going to be playing that on my own, so. But I will be talking about it on here. So. Anything else that you want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, we sort of covered everything that's relevant this week, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as hilariousness goes, I finally got some boots on the ESO.
Yeah. That reminds me of what I said on the stream. At least I think it was on the stream at the time. That you're the opposite of Tom McDonald. He's walking through hell in open sandals drinking gasoline, and you're walking through the North Pole. And I told this to a friend at work, and collectively we came up with a better one. You're walking through the North Pole in open sandals drinking iced tea. Instead of licking ice, like I said at the time.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely awkward walking around in sandals and snow for like the whole time.
Yeah. Hopefully next time we get to play it, I will find some proper armor.
Yeah. You had the other problem.
Yeah, I had beautiful gloves. I had some boots, but not the ones that I wanted. So basically, I was being more of a diva about it than you. You actually had a legit complaint. I was just complaining that this looks ugly, and it's not what I want.
I was to the point, like, I will literally put on literally anything I find for the feet. Doesn't matter. It could be clown shoes.
Check out Tom McDonald's music video of Clown World if you haven't, Nord.
Yeah, no, I have.
Because my feet don't fit in clown shoes, thank you.
Oh, I know, and they don't have them in this game, but that'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Then I would go, well, you should go give them to some random twat on Twitter.
Wasn't the closest thing to that, like, Cicero's boots?
In Skyrim, yeah. That was the closest.
You could wear those. They were pretty much clown shoes.
Well, you do technically get your own pair in the Dawnstar Sanctuary, in that part of this of the Dark Brotherhood storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we might as well close out just talking about Elder Scrolls lore, I think, because that's a fun thing to talk about.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder how the ESO narrative kind of could possibly weave together, because I mean, it seems like it's so expansive that you'd be hard pressed to come up with a common narrative.
Well, the narrative of it, to my knowledge, is supposed to be that that Moloch Bal is trying to blend his realm of oblivion, Coal Harbor, with Tamriel. Basically, it's another Oblivion invasion, basically.
Oh, I see. Well, you see, I was way less intimidated by Molag Bal in the other, Skyrim than I was by Mehrunes Dagon.
So yeah, so
Dagon was way more like just like a Satan figure than Molag Bal ever was.
and fa- and and famously during the Fourth Era, to talk about the Oblivion Crisis and whatnot, if you know anything about Elder Scrolls lore, that the Thalmor came to power in the Somerset Isles for the High Elves and whatnot because of their claiming that they single-handedly stopped the Oblivion Crisis.
Yeah, well,
In other words, they
they like
lied to
to.
everybody.
Sure.
And that's how we ended up with the White Gold Concordat, Talos outlawed, the Blades basically destroyed, or all but destroyed,
Yep.
and not really what they used to be, other than just focused on Parthenax is evil. Okay, whatever.
Yeah. dragons are evil, and it's like, dude, he literally just proved that he's enlightened. What more do you need?
Mm-hmm. Hence why I like the mod, the Parthenax Dilemma.
Yeah. Well, I was always frustrated about that whole get up with
Yeah.
with him.
Now, if you play
I never
Skyrim,
wanted to kill him, but I also wanted to do the blades thing.
if
So it was kind of like, what do I do?
if you play Skyrim on Xbox, well, specifically Special Edition on Xbox One, that mod is available on for download on Xbox. So just saying.
Yeah. Well, if I ever get around to playing Skyrim again, which I probably won't, given
Yeah,
that I've done so much on it,
yeah. Well,
it just wouldn't be that interesting to me anymore.
the only thing that ought to be interesting to you about it is the mods then, because
Yeah,
the
maybe, but still, I'm not interested in playing the whole thing. Why do you think I only ever played one profile?
that's why mods that you would have to have in order to change things up is alternate start.
Yeah, okay, well, that's true, but
Alternate start, it's also called live another life, as in you can basically ignore the main story of the game and just go about like just as another Nord in the world or another whatever in the world that you wanted to play as.
yeah.
Which is kind of what I'm doing on PC. I'm just a Breton who grew up in Skyrim, who was raised in Skyrim, to a Nord and an elf mother and father. And yeah, hence why I'm a Breton, because I'm a mixed race of Nord and Dark Elf.
Yep.
And I'm just,
Well, I play as a Nord,
yeah.
so
Yes, I'm
I
well
don't think I'd
aware.
ever play as anything else.
Well, I generally either play as a Nord or as what I think I actually am, and that's a Breton, which is a mixed race be, between Nord and Dark Elf based on our family's heritage of where our family grew up in the United States and whatnot and was born and raised and wherever else.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So with that rambling done, I think, uh, what are you going to be doing after this? What are you going to be doing after this, bro? what are you gonna be doing after this?
Well, I'm playing ESO right now, so.
Okay. Just going around picking flowers and whatnot?
Yeah, I haven't talked to anybody. I'm just,
Okay.
Yeah.
After, what time is it? It's 9:27. Yeah, I think I'll play it for a little while with you until the stream starts, and I'm going to be watching from, I think it's Outside Xbox. They're going to be playing Fibbage. And that's going to be interesting because they titled that is, and who is the best liar? So that ought to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I guess we're going to be playing Elder Scrolls Online, and I lean towards not streaming it at this time, just to enjoy just playing it with you this time.
Sure, yeah.
So with that being said, we will see you guys the next time we choose to do anything live on Twitch together, or if I do, or if we're right here next week, same time, for the podcast again. So
yeah, probably will. So yeah.
Well, we try to do this every week. Hopefully we'll actually be here Monday for episode 2 of Breaking Rocks to actually have something to talk about again.
Yeah.
Because we want to try to do that every 2 weeks or so. But with
sure, as long as something comes along, you
know. Something is actually been coming along. Actually, quite a few things that I do want to talk about. Yeah, like today there was something that I do want to talk about, but it ain't going to be on here because it's not gaming related. It's in fact heavily political. So, with that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one. Have yourself a great rest of your day. While you're on your way out, please hit the like button, subscribe for more content like this. Come follow myself and Desert Nord over on Twitch as well. He does have a Twitch account. Right?
Yeah.
You can also follow me on Twitter, where I tweet out streams that I watch for the most part, and also all my stuff as well. And I generally just retweet stuff that I agree with. That's basically all I do on Twitter. With that said, you can follow him on Twitter as Rob Nyers. And we will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye for now. Your turn. Yep, I was waiting for you to say it.